Welcome everyone to the breakdown here for the Midwest Open. If you haven't watched the other videos, make sure that you do that for the Dorito side and the snake side. We're going to be going over the middle here for this one. So just as a refresher, we're going to consider this little W as the middle. Of course, you have the actual middle bunkers, and then the towers over here. The Aztec is going to be, we're going to consider that the Dorito side. So make sure that you're watching all the videos so that way you can get a full breakdown and different possibilities. So from this back center, there's some solid shots. So what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to change this color to yellow so that way we can get a better look here. So shooting into, you have that gap, you have eyes on the Dorito side. So this guy is really going to be able to help out with shooting the Dorito side. So it might be important to have someone here because they can roll off on a lot of stuff there. You have a heads up shot going into the can there. If someone was to shoot through or to go through here, you know, you could shoot into that, but you know, I'm not sure how often that's actually going to be happening. But I want to go up a little bit and see. Got to exit out of this first. So let's go up a little bit. I want to look at some of these drop shots. So something that I'm seeing here from this back center, and I'll click on this again. This drop shot over the top, you might have some chances to shoot over into the Aztec, going over to that Dorito side. So that could be really good. And then of course, over the top shooting back into the back center. So the guys that are going out are going to have a hard time because of these shots. My guess is you're going to see people double this home and maybe even triple. It'd be really interesting to see a triple. But, you know, even through here, shooting into, they can shoot a little bit into that snake gap right there. Also into this little W. So they have some shots going into there that if you can dial those in, man, it's going to be deadly. So this is going to be a pretty important spot to have, you know, figure out where people are shooting and try to see what is it that, you know, they are trying to shoot at. If they're trying to shoot at, you know, the snake side, so if I zoom up, you can see they would be able to shoot through this gap through here. So that's going to be, it's not impossible for them to shoot someone through here or to get that elimination. But if you're not changing up how your route is, it's going to be hard, just like we saw in that snake side video. And then even for the Dorito side, you know, being able to shoot through this gap if they're trying to take the deep route. So, you know, trying to have it where you are just trying to be unpredictable is going to be making this person's life not so easy. But the issue is that I would say right now, looking at this shot, this is one of those back centers that might be super helpful for someone to stay at. There might be something, we'll look at that in the possible bounces, so you need to make sure that you watch that. But I'm seeing some super strong shots through here. You know, even if they do, you know, you shoot up over the top and then shoot low and trying to catch them as they go out through this gap, then you can see how far did they go. If they look like they're really running, then you stop shooting through here and you shoot this gap for the overslide, or you can shoot lower and see, you know, the angle of how it is that they're running. So you want to look for tendencies for that one, definitely for sure. But let's kind of move out. So over the top shots are going to be iffy. I think what's going to help is that because there's two huge bricks, if you're making a run straight into this bigger brick or the smaller brick here, going into it, if you have pressure, you can just dive. I think it's going to help you out a lot because those over the top shots are only going to be able to go so high or drop so low, I mean. So you're going to be able to get underneath them more often than not. So like coming up into here, let's see, like a up and over into this this little W, man, that's going to cause some chaos. Like this little W doesn't really look all that strong. But what you could do is this little W, look at this shot. If you dove into here, so just like we saw with the snake video, that can has a great shot to stop this. But let's say that can needs to dive in. Someone can come right here and do this same job and be able to shoot through this gap. And then if someone does happen to go, then they can crawl right up into the wedge here. So let's look. It's weird because I can't really say snake or Dorito side. It's just to the left. So let me look here and see if there's anything good from this W. So you do have a good shot through here. We saw this on the snake side video as well, that this shot through here, if there is pressure, like they get further up on the snake, you can sit here and just throw paint through here. You might, yeah. So you'd be able to shoot into this gap and even tuck in a little bit, and they have to basically commit. It's gonna be hard for them to come through here and not be able to, you know, to really engage with you. They're gonna have a chance to. It's not impossible. They could step up. It's a big wedge there, so they might try to get sneaky with that, but you're gonna be able to sit dominant on there and be able to sit through there. And then if you need to help on the Dorito side, then you'd be able to help with that. So this isn't too bad of a bunker. It's not my favorite, but I think that one could be good. So let's look at this brick here. I'm wondering, I really feel like this one, my initial impression is that it's gonna be more of a, like a transition bunker. So I'm gonna do this so we can see everything. So let me back up a little bit. So great, you have the same shot through there. I don't know if this is gonna be as good because they're gonna be able to wrap and put you in a little bit more, which you could maybe use to your advantage, but I think if they're wrapping and they put you in enough and dive into there, now you're not in a great spot. What could be good is diving up into here to be able to help the Dorito side, or stop the Dorito side push here, or the right side push, I guess is technically what it is, because this is a weird layout for sure. But yeah, being able to shoot into those gaps is looking pretty good. And then the fact that if you wanted to, depending on where they're at, if they're in this snake wedge, whatever, they can shoot through this gap, but you might be able just to crawl straight up and just go straight into the center brick here. Which we'll have to see that, but I kind of like this as a, oh, they're putting pressure on me and I can move up into here and shoot into that Dorito side. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. If you haven't seen the vlog, going and playing sick, probably not the best idea. But yeah, and then shooting into this gap here. So this is not too bad for a spot to get to be able to help support, especially if they're pushing the snake real hard. You can kind of help stop the bleeding a little bit from there. But let's go over to, or we're saying that Aztec is that. So let me go to the tower first. So as I'm moving up into the tower, it's definitely kind of sketchy getting through here, but I'm wondering, let's see, that's 5.2. You might, let me do this. It looks like you might be able to shoot down on that snake. I'm not sure about, yeah, the snake 1, I don't think you're gonna be able to see the snake 1 to 2, but the 2 to 3, you could shoot that and even catch them if they're trying to jump over this way. So you can kind of control both sides. The issue is that with these W's, because they have that nub at the top, there is possibilities of them being able to kind of fight a little bit more. So they have more spots they can come out of than you in this tower. But you would be able to shoot down into here, at least see if they made that move. You can also shoot into that same gap that we were just looking at, but even if you wanted to, you could technically go over here and run and dive back, or have someone else pick up on that gap. Is it worth it? I don't know. We'd have to see. Is this pin even worth it? Let's look. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes these pins are actually good. Yeah, I don't think this is really worth it. I'm not seeing a whole lot there. So let's go to the brick here. Now the brick, let's look at the quote-unquote snake side first and see what it can help stop. Oh, okay, interesting how they did this. All right, so you can't see into the inside. So someone could technically crawl the inside and come up into your mirror. You know what I mean by mirror. I know it's offset, but it's still technically your mirror. And then shooting into the Dorito, but you could shoot into this gap. So you could try to bait people. So there's a lot to check off on in regards to this. So there's gonna be a lot of who can get tricky up here. So this is definitely, I think I'm liking this layout more and more looking at this. So definitely tell me what you guys think in the comments, because I know some people were just like, what is going on? And then, yeah. Then of course the Dorito side. So I really like this. if they do get into, yeah, so let's say that they get past you here, you'd be able to at least see, where is it? Let me turn this more so we can get a better angle. Shooting into this gap, they have to commit. They wouldn't know if you're sitting here waiting. So you can sit here and wait, or if they move up into this Dorito, crawling up into here and then waiting on this gap, if you're tucked in a little bit more, I mean, they really have to, let me push in a little bit. So they would really have to wrap super hard to be able to see that. So I think if you're more in the middle, you can wait on this gap here and they'd have a real hard time getting over there. Let me look over the top real quick and see if there is anything there. So over the top is not terrible. I'm wondering actually if you go to their side. So I think what you're gonna see a lot of is people trading out of these bricks. The issue is this little brick can shoot through this gap. You also have this snake side can shoot through here. Let's see what else. And then of course you have other people that would be able to see you on your move through. So if you're committing through here to go and bunker out that player in the other brick, you really got to commit, because you're going to come around here, and if they moved, there's a lot of people that can shoot you. So just make sure that, you know, you're doing it smart. It might actually be better to come this way depending on the situation, actually bunker them and try to crawl into their snake wedge or snake side wedge. But it's going to be a lot of creativity. So tell me what you guys think. What do you think is the best bunker in this middle? So put that in the comments down below. What is it that would be the best spot that you could go to, that you could do the most damage or the most support? Again, make sure that you're watching the snake side and Dorito side videos as well, especially with it being asymmetrical. Make sure that you're looking at the whole breakdown, so that way you're understanding more about the field itself. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.